Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Robocraft with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the Aeroflak update, an update based around a brand new weapon to Robocraft to counter the airborne dominance we are seeing currently in the game, in particular in the higher rankings of play. So what is the Aeroflak cannon? The Aeroflak cannon, as it's very well put here in the description, is an anti-air cannon, and that's exactly what it is in essence. If you target a ground unit, you're only doing around about half of the DPS as if you're targeting a flying unit, or, curiously, anything that's simply not attached to the ground. This includes hovers, a jumping mech, walkers which have just caught a little bit of air. It can be very bizarre and very amusing. Against airborne targets, however, as soon as the shell you fire gets close to an airborne target, the shell will explode, causing a massive area of effect. The area of effect has been reported to be as big as the Mega Bay, essentially the entire bay we're in currently, so as you can probably tell, that's pretty darn large. Now, against flyers, it only actually does the DPS of 6 laser disintegrators, so pretty much imagine having the maximum amount of SMGs firing, well, the lasers now firing. You're doing that much DPS as if all of those shots were hitting, which is still pretty darn good. It's just not as much as some people were thinking, and honestly I'm pretty happy about this. Now, against ground targets, first of all, the shell doesn't explode, so you miss out on the area of effect, and secondly, you only get the DPS of around about 3 lasers, so it's nowhere near as good, although I found in a few test battles, it is still decent against ground units, mostly because you're getting those shots quite slowly, and each of the shots deal quite a bit of damage, so you're still able to knock out guns fairly effectively, which is very nice indeed. Now, the gun itself costs 300 P-flops and is absolutely huge. It's very comparable to the Mega SMG, the Mega Laser, and the Mega Plasma in that respect, except for I think, let's have a quick look-see, the health is higher, 62,500, and the Mega Laser is only 31,000, so it's double the health and has 5 connection points. You cannot, however, unlike the Mega Laser, use any other weapon type with the flak cannons. The only exception, I believe, is the Tesla. You can indeed use the Tesla with the flak cannons, but you can't use anything like the SMGs, so it is a little bit limiting in that way, but it is an awesome weapon, a load of fun to use, and it doesn't use hit scan like the railgun or the SMG, so it's not an instant hit. It does take a long time for the shot to actually reach the target, similar to Plasma, but with no fall, no shot fall. After you shoot your shell, it goes in a straight line until it hits something, or it simply leaves the map. So it is a little bit easier to use than Plasma, particularly against flyers. So let's get straight into a battle, let's see how it handles, and let's see if I can do a decent demonstration of its abilities. As always, full patch notes will be in the description below. There is quite a bit to this patch I'm not going to be covering in this video, just because they're not really that interesting in comparison to the new flak gun. These are things like the tracks are now better at climbing, and there is a whole host of bug fixes. And so the match begins. Hopefully there'll be a load of flyers on the enemy team, or at least a load of hovers, so we can show off the explosive rounds of the Aeroflak. And we do have a Megabot. Excellent. Now, one addition to the game, one of the patch notes, is that you can no longer see what bots are based on their symbols. Symbols have been completely removed. Now, this is a change I'm not entirely happy with. I'm not quite sure why it's happened, but we'll see how good that is in the future, and if it's a positive change or a negative one. If you spot an enemy, now all it says is simply enemy spotted, as it can't tell you the specific type of enemy at all. Oh, enemy there. Bit too far away for me to really get a good hit on. I'm not sure about the range of this. I think the flak weapon has about the same range as an SMG. No, not an SMG, I was meant to say a Plasma there. As you can see, because the enemy Mega is flying, we are doing a lot of damage to it, to a wide range of area. Also known as a large area. Speaking is weird, yo. Take that! Yeah. Oh, you're jumping, please hit. Yes! 2 detonates. Excellent. 2 detonations. Also, this is a really good position for the Aeroflak. As you can see, the amount of damage this thing provides is immense if you can actually get a few hits on a flyer. Will he stay there and let us take him out? Yes, he will, although I think he may have simply went to the mothership, which would explain why he was simply standing there. Hopefully some of our teammates will turn around. Now, I'm not sure if multiple Aeroflaks increase your rate of fire. It doesn't seem to be the case, although I haven't actually had enough experience with it, and everyone I've asked can't confirm or deny it. This is straight away, as soon as the update's gone live, I've instantly got into this. Now, I'm losing a lot of health here from what appears to be a ghost. It seems like the enemy I was shooting, the one who ended up disconnecting, I thought it simply returned to the mothership, is, well, completely desynced and causing me to die. Not quite sure if I'm showing off the new weapon right now or a bug. Well, either way. There we go, back to normal. Let's start doing some damage to another flyer. No one's turned around to fight this guy. Well, apparently I'm going to have to do that with my weapon that's meant to go against airborne targets. As you can see, the damage isn't bad. It really isn't. Even against ground units, it's definitely worth it. Whoa, that was a lot of damage from their mega. Oh, okay. Still, that was ridiculously high amounts of damage. Got a single gun? That's good enough for me. I didn't even realise their mega was still alive. I thought it was over here and died earlier. Apparently not. 1% health. Wow, if I lose a single block right now, I'm dead. Of course, the guns take up a massive amount of your CPU. I think they're 300 each, like I said earlier. Which means, of course, if one's alive, you're still going to be alive. You could very easily beat just a gun. Excellent. Oh, actually, you did manage to get a kill at some point. Even better. And both of you are hovers, so let's just lay on you. Lay into you, rather. It's a little bit too early to be talking right now, I've got to admit. I've just woke up. That's it, stay in the air. At least stay in the air enough. Now, he won't be explosive now, because most of his body's touching the floor, so I'm just going to do a little bit of damage here. What's hitting me now? Oh, you. Stop hitting me from hidden places, guys. Overall, I'm actually a massive fan of the flak weapon. It's just so fun to use. It feels very similar to using SMGs, honestly, just because of holding down the mouse button. As it's a constant thing, you don't have to keep on pressing it each time. But then, it's just those explosions are so satisfying, the amount of damage they can deal, and if you target an area with a few clumped up enemies, you can just eradicate them if you get lucky. Now, I did want to heal a bit more, however... Okay, he's now being a ground unit, just to avoid the explosions. Which honestly isn't a dumb thing to do. Why can't I hit him? Oh, that's it. Perfect. Start floating up in the air, and thus we get the explosives again. And so he goes down. One enemy left. There is being hit by flak, and a victory. I think that was a very good match to kind of show off the flak, both against ground units and against flyers. Sadly, Robocraft is once again entering maintenance mode, which is a shame, because I was going to get one more match for the video, but things are as they are. So, my first impressions of the new flak cannon is that it is fantastically fun, and easily my new favourite weapon to use. My only problem with them is just how effective they are versus hoverbots, and in particular, hover megabots. It just completely devastates them, and an entire enemy team if they're in the wrong position. And this is a very weird use for the flak cannon, as it is actively trying to push out hoverbots, at least from what I've seen so far. Out of the 6 matches, 4 of them ended because one team had a hover in a bad place with the rest of their team, and because of the prevalence of flak weapons at the moment, the entire team was just laying to waste in moments with the huge area of effect explosions. Now, I'm sure this will diminish over time as flak cannons become less popular, because of course right now people are hyped up about them, they're saving up for them, they're already using them. I mean, I used them straight away, so I'm very guilty of this, but even so, it's a very weird counter I didn't quite expect to be so effective. Really is exceedingly effective, especially since the area effect is definitely better against ground targets who normally clump up rather than flyers who don't clump up so often. Other than that, they seem to be really fun to use, particularly since they're not an instant hit, as they don't use hit scan. It does make them a little bit more difficult to use. It's not as if a flak cannon will instantly kill a flyer, because if you're fast enough and you're wily enough, you'll probably not be hit quite as much, particularly by people like me who have terrible accuracy. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Once again, like I've said about 3 times in the video, the full patch notes are in the description below. I have not covered quite a lot of it, which is a whole host of bug fixes and minor changes, like I said, about the tracks, which now climb better, and the enemy bots and your bots not being shown by their class, but simply as a robot. So if you have enjoyed this video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Robocraft is a series you wish to see continued in the future. So what's your opinions on the new update? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it a good idea? Is it a terrible idea? Tell me in the comments below. I would love to see your feedback. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.